Today, investigators are sifting through an ocean of material, millions of pages, thousands of videos, and countless images each piece, a potential fragment of a larger puzzle. Then a rumor exploded across the internet: Jay-Z's loss. Angela's estate had become the center of intense scrutiny after newly released Epstein-related documents surfaced. What authorities might uncover, people say, could send shockwaves through the music world. The hip-hop billionaire, known for his carefully crafted image and the massive Roc Nation empire, now finds himself surrounded by questions that many never thought would reach his name. His presence in controversial documents has ignited whispers about hidden networks, powerful alliances, and decisions made behind closed doors. The narrative unfolding is darker, more layered, and far more complicated than fans ever imagined. From long-standing industry rumors to alleged ties, with figures later exposed for disturbing behavior. This story has become a maze of timelines, testimonies, and unanswered questions. What's up, fam? Today, we're diving into the shadowy side of industry politics that has shaken hip-hop to its core. This isn't just internet gossip, it's a story about influence, silence, and how power can shape narratives for decades. Social media erupted the moment the Epstein-related files went public. Twitter lit up, Instagram timelines flooded, and debates exploded across every platform. Some people rushed to defend Jay-Z, others demanded clarity, and many struggled to separate fact from speculation. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, it's important to acknowledge the chaos of misinformation online. But there are documented associations, public business relationships, and witness accounts that span years. This isn't about tearing down success, it's about asking difficult questions. The music industry has long been accused of protecting powerful figures. We've seen scandals involving R. Kelly and Diddy, and now eyes are turning toward other giants. The question isn't whether abuse of power exists. The real question is who knew, who stayed silent, and who is untouchable. When the Epstein documents dropped, readers searched page after page for familiar names. Court filings, flight records, and private communications revealed references that sent shockwaves through fan communities. Mentions of Jay-Z in connection with elite events and industry meetings sparked intense debate. Being mentioned doesn't equal guilt, but it raises unsettling questions about proximity and awareness. Networking defines success in entertainment, but when those networks intersect with individuals later exposed for crimes, the conversation changes instantly. The internet dissected old interviews, photos, and partnerships, building timelines and theories. Even loyal fans began asking questions. The deeper story stretches back decades, forming a web of relationships that few outside the industry truly understand. One key figure often mentioned is Harvey Weinstein. His connections to Jay-Z involved major projects, shared events, and mutual business ventures. Their collaborations spanned documentaries, film distribution, and elite gatherings, creating a powerful alliance. In Hollywood, relationships are rarely accidental. Weinstein was known as a kingmaker, and his influence opened doors across entertainment. For Jay-Z, expanding into film and media meant aligning with powerful gatekeepers. But when Weinstein's downfall unfolded, every past association took on new meaning. Then came the social media storm from Nicki Minaj, who hinted at troubling patterns she claimed to have witnessed. She referenced Foxy Brown, Aaliyah, and even Beyoncé, questioning timelines and power dynamics that many had never publicly discussed. Her posts ignited chaos, debate, and a renewed demand for transparency. According to Nicki Minaj online posts, the situation involving Foxy Brown was one of the most disturbing stories circulating in industry circles. She suggested that Jay-Z had a close connection with Foxy Brown when she was still a teenager, claiming this was an open secret whispered about for years but rarely addressed publicly. To back her claims, she resurfaced old clips and interviews, including a now infamous appearance on Wendy Williams' show where Foxy Brown made comments that many now interpret differently in hindsight. By the time Nicki Minaj spoke out, she had already spent decades inside the music industry. She had collaborated with major stars, attended elite events, and witnessed the hidden dynamics behind fame and power. When she hinted at what she had seen, people paid attention not just because she was famous, but because she had nothing left to lose. Her words carried the weight of experience, and her tone suggested she was pulling back. The curtain on something far bigger than one person. What truly shook the internet was her talk of unspoken industry hierarchies and rituals. She wasn't just naming individuals, she was describing a system where influence could be weaponized, where young women trying to break into music might find themselves vulnerable to powerful figures. Her posts triggered an immediate storm. Supporters demanded transparency, critics accused her of clout chasing, and insiders rushed to defend Jay-Z. The debate exploded across social media, with fans dissecting timelines, interviews, and old footage frame by frame. Her allegations gained traction because they suggested a pattern, not an isolated rumor. Conversations shifted from individual names to the idea of a systemic culture that had existed for decades. People began revisiting the early years of Jay-Z's rise in the 1990s, when he was building connections that would later transform him into a global mogul. Some sources claim that during that era, he often gravitated toward younger female artists entering the industry, raising questions about power dynamics and consent. The rumors surrounding Aaliyah resurfaced, with insiders recalling tensions between Jay-Z and Dame Dash over her attention. Then there were renewed discussions about Beyoncé, with debates about when their relationship truly began. Statements from Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, added fuel to speculation, describing moments he claimed to have witnessed at industry events. At the heart of these conversations was one uncomfortable reality: in entertainment, power changes everything. A young artist meeting an industry titan is never an equal exchange careers. Contracts and futures can hang in the balance. Dame Dash himself has hinted over the years that Jay-Z's interests and relationships were complex, often dodging direct questions when pressed. Then there was R. Kelly, another name that resurfaced in discussions about Jay-Z's past collaborations. Critics questioned why partnerships continued. Despite long-standing rumors surrounding R. Kelly, Dame Dash once claimed he confronted Jay-Z about working with him, referencing Aaliyah's past. As these narratives collided, a darker picture emerged, one defined by influence, ambition, and unanswered questions. And then came the most explosive rumor of all: reports that federal authorities had taken interest in Jay-Z's property, allegedly seizing digital devices and records as part of a broader inquiry. Whether these claims point to criminal activity or simply morally questionable choices remains unknown. But with Diddy facing intense legal scrutiny and R. Kelly already convicted, many wonder if the era of untouchable moguls is ending. One domino has fallen. Others may already be trembling. One of the most striking elements in this unfolding story is the sudden willingness of witnesses to speak out. Individuals who had once been too intimidated to come forward are now stepping into the spotlight, emboldened by the sense that federal authorities are taking these cases seriously. Every revelation, every whispered detail adds another layer to the tension enveloping the music world. What is perhaps most telling, however, is the deafening silence echoing through the industry. Normally, when a high-profile figure faces scrutiny, you see allies rallying artists, executives, insiders all scrambling to defend one of their own. But in the case of Jay-Z, the quiet is unsettling. That absence of public support has fueled speculation, raising questions about what others might know, and what they may be protecting based on precedent from similar high-profile investigations. Insiders suggest that charges could emerge within months. Federal inquiries are meticulous, slow-moving, and painstaking. But when prosecutors are ready, their actions hit like lightning. Rumors of potential plea agreements swirl in the background, suggesting that if Jay-Z's legal team perceives vulnerabilities in the evidence, cooperation might become part of a broader strategy to address other figures in the industry. But this isn't just a story about one individual. The real drama lies in the seismic cultural shift now sweeping through entertainment. For decades, powerful figures in music could allegedly exploit positions of influence without fear of repercussion. That era appears to be ending. Across hip-hop and beyond, the structures that once shielded certain players are under scrutiny. Fans and insiders alike are witnessing a reckoning, a confrontation with uncomfortable truths about fame, ambition, and the hidden mechanisms of power at its core. This situation highlights systemic issues, power imbalances, silenced voices, and the mechanisms that allowed alleged misconduct to persist. It's not merely about age or morality. It's about influence, opportunity, and accountability. The young women who have spoken out, whose stories remain untold, are central to understanding why this moment is so critical. The big question looms. Is this the beginning of a broader cultural transformation in hip-hop? Or will Jay-Z's team and industry allies manage to shield him from consequences, erasing the public trail? Observers note that the strategies once employed to contain scandals are increasingly ineffective. Once one domino falls, others begin to teeter. What do you think? Will Jay-Z face the same scrutiny as Diddy? Are these revelations a shock, or have whispers been circulating for years? Share your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments below. Remember, this is an evolving situation. Nothing has been proven in court, and due process is essential. Yet the patterns, the networks, and the historical context demand attention. Voices that were once muted are finally being heard, and the story is far from over. In the weeks and months ahead, expect developments, surprises, and new revelations that could reshape the narrative entirely. What do you think about Jay-Z's story unfolding? Are we witnessing a major reckoning in hip-hop? Or will the powerful stay untouchable? Drop your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe, because this saga is far from over, and the next twist could shock everyone. Shock everyone.